NFL Draft Bible on location.
Sorry you saw us play that poorly. A lot of credit to Army. Physically overlooked us, and we looked disheveled. We looked like when looked good, maybe a little bit good early at times, but when the moment got hard, we did not react. So that's obviously not the team that we want to have. I'll address Jihad. I'll just do it once. He's not going to be. He probably won't play next week either. I don't know about the week after. He's kind of a wait and see. So I'd like to talk about the guys that played though. I thought defensively we just couldn't stop them. We had some good stops at some times. And offensively, obviously we couldn't capitalize. We had the ball down the red zone on the first drive. With the ball in the red zone again. Got knocked out with a penalty and had the ball in the red zone the third time. And could not amass anything more than the field. We had 3 turnovers. They had none. We ran for 330 yards. We were pathetic on third down. Could not protect the quarterback. So that's on me. At the end of the day, I don't want to look at it, but that's on me. That's 3 losses in a row, and you can probably hear our team. I mean, we've got to do something here quickly to get ourselves back on track because we're still not playing the way we're capable of playing. So that was significantly worse than it was on Tuesday and Wednesday this past week in practice, and so we'll find a way. With that, let's see what questions you guys have. Well, I mean, first of all, at the end of the half, we finally got that stop, and just, obviously I mismanaged the time to a degree. I was also told the wrong time by the official. That's you can probably understand why I was upset. Called a play, being told there was 1 set of time, broke the huddle, and they changed the time on us. So there's a couple times things like that happened today, which was very, very, very frustrating for me today. Because you call a play based upon the amount of time. PJ did a good job with the spread out pass catch out of the half. I thought that at halftime, we would go in there and we'd be fired up. All right, this is what we expected. But again, I would say we went into halftime camp, couldn't believe that we weren't ahead 45-0. I think somewhere along the line, we've gotten convinced that we're this team that we're not. And it's I remember it was last year. It would be the same thing. We would just keep playing. We'd be down 14-7 at the half or 7-6 and just keep playing. But no matter what we did at halftime, we couldn't get them to realize, hey, this is college football. And we still had a chance to win, even as poorly as we played, with that muffed field kickoff return in the end zone and that terrible, that terrible couple plays. We still had a chance to hit the ball back and win. So I don't know. I think we have to just kind of understand who we are. That we're not this team that's going to be up by 45 every game at halftime. And I have not gotten that across. I can tell you I've said it, but you know what? Who cares how many times I've said it? I got to say it some more times. I think some other players said it today for the first time, and I hope that our team will kind of regain that focus.
You never got a handle on the fullback.
They just dominated us. It wasn't like, hey, this guy has it, it doesn't have it. They literally just knocked us off the ball and they physically, credit to them, credit to Coach Monkey, they physically dominated the line of scrimmage. And then, despite all the good runs early, we could not pass protect those guys. PJ was throwing guys in his face and getting hit, and so, but it wasn't really like assignment football. It was, they were just lining up, and they weren't even running the option half the time. They were just handing the ball to the dive and knocking us off the ball, and we weren't able to knock them back.
Would you say was it the endurance of the defense that's why the run game was being successful for Army?
I'll say that one more time.
Was it the endurance that an issue tonight?
No, I think for the second straight time that we played the option, we didn't come out to try to physically dominate them, and that's really disappointing to me. And they physically dominated us, and that's what the game's about. It's about lining up and running the ball and stopping the run. And when we lose is when we get dominated up front. So that was the games last year, that was this game.
Sharif blocks a punt, and you guys have a short field, and you walk away with this game changer.
Well, that was the second time we crossed like the 35 or 40 yard line that you don't get points. The first drive we're just methodically moving it, and then that one. So, block that punt, have that momentum, and then not come away with points with a touchdown was really rough. We had one-on-one coverage out there to Kirkwood, or we banged in the kid, we couldn't get the ball. So we needed to get points there. We needed to get our opportunities. What we knew was it's always hard to get the rhythm because we had basically 3 real possessions in the first half, and maybe 4. And so usually you get 12 in a game. We had 8 in the first, 4 in the first half. It was on pace for 8. So when you have one, you have to score points. And I don't know that we did that to the level we should.
You mentioned that you didn't necessarily have the seconds. You might thought, how did that kind of disrupt your offense? It looked like McCall was really running the ball pretty well there in the first half, but he just couldn't get it out there enough because the defense was struggling to field.
Yeah, I think it's like 6, 7, 8 minutes at a time that they have the ball. You couldn't stop them, so you don't get into a rhythm and you don't call the plays that you want. You're just trying to get a first down, and then they just kept blitzing, and we hit a big play in the run game, and then all of a sudden, get 2nd and 10, and we didn't really manage those situations well. And again, we weren't good on 3rd down. I think we were 3 for 9 on 3rd down. They were 7 for 13. We were 1 for 2, so we were 4 for 11. They were 9 for 15. I don't know. I mean, he's been so dependable. He's been, they were kicking it to him. Typically, he's the guy that blocks for the other guy. They usually kicked it. His first game, they changed up what they did. But the one return he had was going to break. Had a couple nice moves. But I can tell you that Ed Foley coaches that all the time. So I don't know if just the moment got to be too much for what it was. But I don't think anybody played well enough today for me to start saying, hey, I got to go back and look at it. As I told them, it starts with me. Obviously that just was not good enough, and that's all he told me. So I'm not going to start benching Hood and knowing that I feel like I'm responsible. So I'll go back and look at it and figure out who did what.
Coach, how difficult is it to practice assimilating your route? See a lot, all year long. How difficult?
It's really difficult, and I don't know that we were ever able to simulate the violence of the fullback. They only pitched the ball once or twice. It felt like maybe three times, but they just kept hammering us inside. We never had the guy that kind of step up and make the play on it. We had a lot of plays where we were hitting the fullback and he's falling for 4, or bouncing off him. So that was disappointing because you keep every time you give them 4 yards of first down, you let them get into 4 down territory.
You said earlier in the week that you kind of expected things to run more early. Was there a point in the game where you knew that your guys wouldn't quite figure it out?
Well, I was disappointed because, those last 2 drives, the drive where we stopped them, we blocked the field goal, and the next drive we stopped them, So I was like, okay, we settled down, and then we came out of the half. And again, going back to your point, Zach, obviously we didn't do a good, we made all the adjustments at halftime, and we made some good ones, and they worked at times. I wouldn't even say we got beat by the option. We got beat by their offensive line and their fullback and quarterback. And so, I don't know, it just wasn't the commitment to being as physical as we needed. We just played like that, man. Answer all the questions.
With drops like that, is that something that just kind of comes out the head? You see that in camp, some of those early drops?
Yeah, I have to see that. See if PJ threw it earlier. If Yancey didn't get his head around. We've had some drops in camp, but I thought we were really coming on. And close that one play with that we go back to that one situation. We go back to that play, and we thought we had the first down, and he didn't have the ball. Some of those balls might really help us.
Coach, what are some of the things that you take from tonight, you and your team, that'll help you guys moving forward?
Oh, we'll come back. We'll come back, and we're going to be a really good football team. Let me say that first. And because for the first time, I've been begging some guys in there to step up and be leaders. They were just so used to listening to Tyler and those guys do all the work. And for the first time now, I said, "What's the deal, guys? We have something to say." And for the first time, the guys that we need to do it did it. Coaches can't be cheerleaders, and I need guys in that room that are demanding that guys, do everything right. Stop listening to everyone telling them that they're good or we're this, we're that. The Army didn't care who we are. So I feel like, I hated this. I'm embarrassed by it. I feel terrible for all the people that came to the game and that had to see us play so poorly. Again, I give credit to Army. I don't want to take anything away from them. But I feel like our kids, if we have any chance of being a good team, if they all come back from this and they're not a good team now, then we'll never will. I told you guys, I told them that their team, Army, reminded me of us going into the Vanderbilt game, coming off 2 wins. Well, that's just what they did to us is what we did to Vanderbilt. And, I hope they listen to me now. And I hope they listen to each other now. So, good teams are policed in the locker room by each other. They're held to a high standard by each other. And for the first time, I heard them say something. So, we got to get back to being a gritty, tough, hard-nosed team. That wasn't a gritty, hard-nosed team last night. It wasn't a gritty, hard-nosed team in the bowl game.
I think I saw until the latter half of the fourth quarter, when you're rolling backwards in the linebacker, going back to the back, is there any meetings second thoughts on some of those long drives? Some
Well,
of the seven guys couldn't do well?
We put Chappelle in the first half. I put him in, but probably not a ton. Yeah, I mean, we'll probably have to go back and look at everything that we did and say, maybe we should have done more of this, maybe we should have done more of that. But we did put Chappelle in, and we were trying to keep Al on fresh. When they run the fullback like that, he's got to do a great job. In terms of the secondary, I don't know. I think that they weren't really throwing. We defended the pass well, but I think we got worn out up front more than anything, which is. We've got a great defensive line, and they have to rebound for us to have a chance this year.
You talk about those leaders that need to step up. Who are those leaders that need to step up?
That was just Avery. That was just Jahan, Leon Johnson, and a lot more. Reddick, Walker, Deion Dawkins. This is their team. This is their team. We, all of us, just got punched in the gut. So we'll find out more character now. All the hype will be gone, all that, expectations will be changed now, and so now it comes down to, let's go play football. Let's find a way to get a win.
Coach, do you think the team underestimated this Army team today after a two-win season last year, coming into game one?
I don't know. I sure hope not. I just think that we got physically beat up. So whatever reason that is, I can't say. I don't know. But we just didn't dominate the game physically like we do, and I gotta get back to that.
4 sacks, 3 interceptions. It's a tough offensive line too. Struggled tonight, not just on the defensive side. What are your thoughts about that?
Well, our offensive line did not play well in the passing game. I thought early on in the run game we were pretty good. Even that, the last pick, the kid runs a long route. PJ saw the ball where it's supposed to be, gets picked, and then the last pick, there's so much you can ask the quarterback to do. So, guys have to step up. So again, now, all of us, the coaches, players, everybody. I'm not here to point. We got a great group of kids, but I was worried about our offensive line, and I have to go back and see the tape and see how we played. I thought our defensive line would be a dominant group. They weren't tonight. We got to come back to it, and the coaches have to do a better job. I called timeout one time and I couldn't get it, and they just called timeout. They said they heard someone say it, so I said, "Well, I didn't say it." So thankfully they took they just took it away, but I couldn't explain that. Other than they said that they thought they heard someone call timeout. So, but that wasn't me.
You under the pressure. Would you like to help you see a little more sort of forward reaction to Phil when he was late and down on the score? Making the plays right now.
Yeah, well, I obviously wouldn't like the 2 picks down the stretch. I think he has so much physical ability to get outside the pocket, and make some things happen, and I don't know, maybe he just didn't do that. I don't know, but we can't throw 2 picks down the stretch. We have to do a better job protecting them. Guys have to get open. So it's really hard for me to talk right now without having seen it. You know what I'm saying? But do I want him to throw 2 picks? No. And I thought he was so good early, especially in all the play action. The nakeds, guys were running wide open. He was hitting them. And but then down the stretch, just obviously fell apart.
You guys stayed on the field for their alma mater. Was that something you had planned to do all along?
Yeah, that's something we've always done when we play the academies. Win, lose, or draw, we go there for that. And to be quite honest, I wanted our team to see it. I wanted our team to see them celebrate. Because I'm hurting right now. I want to hurt, and we got great kids on our team. And our kids, seeing that hurting and all that. I'm talking about the older kids. Some of the younger kids, they don't get it yet. But the older kids, they're gonna. I want them to really let that loss sink in, and then come back and find a way to win next week. I don't know that the issue will be believing. It might be. I think it's just getting back to that style of play. And it doesn't quite matter. I would probably put a dichotomy, like a line between the Houston game. I just think the Houston game, I thought we played pretty well. They were pretty good. It's the Toledo game and this game that really bothered me. Just for me. I might be completely wrong, right? South Florida bothered me last year. SMU bothered me. It goes back to when we're supposed to win sometimes. We just aren't a great football team. We start thinking we're the favorites, we're this, we're that, again, that's me. I got to get it convinced, So as a coach, you look to some guys and you say, hey, we got to go play our style. So I think you'll see, like I said, Praise and Avery and all those guys. I think you'll see them. I think you'll see them rebound and hold our team for a high standard moving forward. I think we'll do better.
I think it's too soon
Last
to
one for
start
coach,
making-
so we get some players.
Do you think it's too soon to start making depth changes throughout the team, or do you think that you can see things start to move around?
I have to watch the film. I mean, we make depth chart changes all the time. You know, I mean, we do it every week. I'd have to see it, see who played well, who did. You know, I think the last thing we need to do right now as a coaching staff is anybody's panic. You know, I mean, teams that panic never are really very good. So one of my goals this year was to try to get better as the year went on, and you know, and so at least we know we kind of hopefully hit rock bottom and we can get better from here. So, but yeah, I mean, I think now is the time for poise and accountability, and just go back, watch the film, see who did it, see who didn't do it, figure out why, and figure out if there's a better alternative. All right, thank you very much.
NFL Draft Bible on location.